Many people feel a desire to disappear, not necessarily to die. This desire isn't about escaping responsibility or ending one's life. It is about ceasing to be the person they currently are. This urge involves stepping outside of societal expectations. It also entails erasing an outdated or unwanted version of oneself. The desire for change is not limited to specific demographics. It affects students facing academic pressure. Professionals stuck in unwanted roles also experience this desire. Creators suffering from burnout are similarly affected. Individuals confined by ill-fitting identities feel it too. This widespread feeling highlights a common human experience. Disappearance is distinct from simply running away. It's a calculated strategy. It involves a planned withdrawal from a current environment or situation. The next phase is a deliberate and careful reconstruction of one's identity. This reconstruction is key to a successful and complete disappearance. It's about creating a new self, detached from the past and ready for the future. This documentary investigates the reasons behind the desire to disappear. It examines the true meaning and implications of vanishing from society. The film explores the complex processes of identity formation. It also analyzes how identities can be dismantled or deconstructed. Finally, the documentary outlines the steps involved in personal transformation. This is not a guide to evade the law. It's a guide to personal transformation. The goal is to become unrecognizable to your past self. This transformation is achieved through intentional change. It focuses on evolving into a fundamentally different person. The desire to disappear often stems from deep-seated dissatisfaction. Repeated failures can also trigger this desire to escape. Identity exhaustion and constant social comparison may contribute. A profound loss of meaning in life can further fuel this urge. Modern society promotes constant visibility through various channels. Social media platforms encourage continuous self-promotion and updates. Career branding necessitates maintaining a public and professional image. Digital footprints are permanent records, shaping online reputations. The initial question, "Who am I?" evolves into a desire for change. The focus shifts to, "How do I stop being this?" Disappearance starts to seem appealing as a solution. It promises silence from internal and external noise. Disappearing offers a chance for a reset and newfound control. It also provides freedom from judgment and scrutiny. People don't inherently wish to vanish completely from existence. Instead, they often desire escape from a confining sense of self. This feeling stems from being trapped within a specific identity. The ultimate goal is to achieve a sense of liberation and freedom. Disappearance is not about physical vanishing from a place. It is about identity subtraction, a reduction of one's presence. This involves removing access to resources and connections. It also means reducing visibility and interrupting behavioral patterns. Breaking expectation patterns is also a key component. Social disappearance involves reducing the need to maintain others' expectations. It means lessening the burden of constant explanations to others. Reducing one's availability is a key component of this process. It also involves minimizing emotional labor in social interactions. Decreasing online presence is another aspect of social disappearance. Ultimately, it's about prioritizing one's own needs over external social demands. Psychological detachment involves releasing oneself from limiting narratives. It means distancing from past failures that may be holding one back. Detachment also includes shedding negative labels imposed by others or oneself. It requires letting go of internalized criticism that undermines self-worth. The aim is to achieve mental freedom by removing these psychological burdens. This freedom enables personal growth and a more positive self-perception. Behavioral disappearance involves stopping habits, reinforcing an old identity. This includes routines, reactions, and self-sabotaging behaviors. The goal is to eliminate patterns linked to the previous self. This cessation allows for the creation and reinforcement of new, desired patterns. Energy withdrawal is not hiding. It's a redirection of focus. It involves pulling back from activities or relationships that no longer benefit you. This process allows you to conserve and redirect your energy. The withdrawn energy is then channeled towards personal growth. Ultimately, this shift facilitates transformation and new opportunities. Identity is not merely discovered, it is actively constructed over time. This construction arises from consistent, repeated actions and behaviors. Reinforced beliefs play a crucial role in shaping one's identity. Social feedback, both positive and negative, contributes to this process. Emotional conditioning further molds identity through learned responses. Thus, identity emerges from a combination of actions, beliefs, feedback, and emotions. Avoidance isn't laziness. It's a learned behavior reinforced by rewarding habits. These habits create patterns that make avoiding tasks feel easier than doing them. Identifying these patterns is the first step to breaking the cycle of avoidance. Once identified, strategies can be developed to change these ingrained avoidance habits. Confidence is not innate. It's a learned skill. Fear regulation is a key component of building confidence. Recognizing this allows for targeted coping strategies. Understanding fear helps in developing effective mechanisms. These mechanisms aid in managing anxiety-provoking situations. This leads to increased self-assurance over time. Feeling lost isn't a permanent state. It's often due to an uncalibrated internal compass. This compass guides direction and purpose, but requires intentional adjustment. The key is to actively and consciously set new directions in life. This involves defining goals, values, and aspirations to guide your path. Recalibration empowers you to navigate life with renewed clarity and purpose. Identity is a narrative constructed and maintained by the nervous system. This narrative is not fixed. It is learned through experience and reinforcement. The brain's plasticity allows for the modification of these learned beliefs. Conscious effort can be directed towards unlearning or reshaping aspects of identity. This process involves actively challenging and changing neural pathways. Therefore, identity is malleable and subject to intentional change. Disappearing causes discomfort due to decreased validation from others. Familiar feedback loops, which provide a sense of stability, are disrupted. Feelings of loneliness and isolation are intensified when disappearing. Existing coping mechanisms become ineffective, increasing unease. Discomfort during recovery is a withdrawal symptom, not a failure. The brain can become addicted to familiar patterns, even negative ones. This includes addiction to predictable disappointment. It also includes addiction to known limitations. Recognizing this helps in overcoming these ingrained patterns. Removing familiar patterns can trigger a state of mind panic. This panic stems from questioning one's identity. The mind also fears potential failure without these patterns. This critical point is crucial in personal transformation. Many people revert to their previous routines and lifestyles. This return is often not driven by the superiority of the old life. Instead, familiarity and comfort are the primary motivators. The known is often preferred over the unknown. Even if suboptimal, comfort provides a sense of security and predictability. This preference highlights the human tendency to seek stability. Transformation necessitates prolonged exposure to the unknown. This requires resisting the urge to retreat, driven by fear. Growth is inherently linked to embracing uncertainty. Staying in the unknown fosters adaptability. It also builds resilience in the face of change. Ultimately, uncertainty is a catalyst for personal evolution. Transformation requires distancing from reminders of your past self. Limit exposure to constant social updates that reinforce old identities. Reduce contact with people who primarily know you from your past. Change environments that are linked to old habits and behaviors. Reducing exposure to triggers is crucial for mental well-being. Unfollowing accounts can minimize exposure to negative stimuli. Silence is not arrogance, it's self-preservation. Distance isn't betrayal, but a need for personal growth. Prioritizing mental health is essential. Detoxing from social media aids self-improvement. The void phase occurs after the disappearance of a previous state or identity. It is characterized by the absence of the old, but the new has yet to materialize. This in-between state can be a particularly vulnerable and dangerous period. Without a defined identity, one may experience uncertainty and instability. A lack of motivation can manifest as emotional flatness. Feelings of disconnection from oneself and others may arise. Uncertainty about one's path or purpose can become prominent. This state is often described as identity suspension. Identity suspension differs from clinical depression. It represents a temporary pause in self-discovery or direction. The brain naturally seeks to fill gaps in routine or activity. This tendency can lead to reverting to old habits. Resisting this urge is crucial for personal transformation. Conscious effort is needed to establish new, desired behaviors. The void phase is crucial for values, realignment, and resetting priorities. This period allows for clarity to emerge regarding future direction. Stillness during this phase is productive. Avoid panic or rushing the process. Embrace the void to allow for genuine realignment and renewed focus. Transformation is driven by structured systems, not initial motivation. Personal evolution is less about deciding and more about designing. Effective systems compel change, shaping who you become. Design environments that naturally foster desired behavioral shifts. Focus on creating structures that lead to inevitable self-improvement. Emulate the desired persona through actions before fully believing in it. Establish new routines and physical standards to shape your behavior. Incorporate daily discipline to reinforce the desired traits and habits. Belief often emerges from consistent action rather than preceding it. External surroundings exert a strong influence, often more than willpower alone. Modifying sensory inputs, what you see and hear, can shift your identity. The people you interact with also significantly contribute to shaping who you are. By altering these environmental inputs, identity changes occur more naturally. Refrain from repeatedly dwelling on past narratives. Actively replace negative self-statements with positive affirmations. For example, shift from "I always fail" to "I am building consistency." Language has the power to influence perception. By altering language, we can reshape our perceived reality. The objective is not to reinvent oneself for external validation. True transformation involves internal change and self-perception. It's about looking back without emotional connection to your past self. This signifies a profound shift in identity and perspective. The goal is to achieve a state of emotional detachment from your former self. A profound shift occurs when old triggers lose their power. This indicates a change in how you respond to stimuli. Former temptations no longer hold the same appeal. Things that once seemed desirable now feel irrelevant. Past fears begin to diminish in urgency and impact. This transformation signifies personal growth and resilience. Transformation is best expressed through actions, not pronouncements. Authentic change is demonstrated by consistent behavior. Let your actions speak louder than any verbal explanation. Allow others to perceive the difference in your conduct. Focus on embodying change. Let people feel its impact. Re-entering the world involves a shift in behavior and mindset. Speaking less becomes a conscious choice. Prioritizing meaningful communication. Actions are performed with intention, reflecting a deliberate approach to life. Reactions are minimized, indicating a state of inner balance and composure. This transformation signifies a journey towards centeredness and mindful living. Change initiatives often face resistance from some individuals. Some may not acknowledge the changes you've made. Others might project their own insecurities onto you. Such reactions validate the change process. Resistance is a confirmation of change, not a problem. The true self never disappears. It evolves by shedding illusions. The need for external approval starts to dissolve. The fear of judgment gradually diminishes. Addiction to validation begins to fade away. This process reveals a more authentic version of oneself. The shedding of illusions is a path to self-discovery. The process leads to a quieter inner state. This inner state fosters increased personal strength. It enables self-directed actions and choices. Disappearance is not about avoiding problems. It's about reclaiming control over one's life. This return empowers authorship of your own life. Consider a scenario devoid of external expectations or imposed labels. Imagine a state where your past is forgotten by others. In such a condition, free from external influences, what identity would emerge? This exploration delves into the core of self-discovery without societal constraints. The world values authenticity over mere volume or loudness. Being true to oneself is more impactful than seeking attention. Authenticity involves aligning actions with inner values. Conformity, in contrast, prioritizes external expectations. Therefore, genuine self-expression is more valuable than conformity. Sometimes, disappearing is the only way to be found. Disappearance allows your true self to emerge. It helps to filter out external noise and influences. This process facilitates self-discovery. It allows for introspection and self-reflection. Ultimately, it leads to a clearer understanding of one's identity. The desire to disappear often arises from feelings of being trapped. It can also stem from a sense of unfulfillment in one's current life. This feeling may be linked to dissatisfaction with one's identity. The individual may feel overwhelmed by their present circumstances. This leads to a longing to escape or detach from their reality. Reducing social media use can foster self-reflection. Limiting external pressures creates space for personal growth. Less exposure supports inner transformation. It allows for introspection and self-discovery. This promotes a healthier mental environment. Embracing uncertainty is key to personal growth and development. It allows individuals to break free from established routines and habits. Stepping outside comfort zones fosters adaptability and resilience. This process opens doors to new opportunities and possibilities. Consistency is crucial for establishing new habits and behaviors. Consistent action reinforces a new sense of self and identity. Regular practice solidifies neural pathways in the brain. This leads to the automatization of the desired behavior. Consistency transforms short-term efforts into lasting change. Inconsistent actions weaken the new habit's foundation. Reacting minimally to stimuli helps maintain centeredness. Intentional responses enhance personal control. This approach reduces impulsive reactions. It promotes thoughtful decision-making instead. Minimal reaction fosters a sense of calm and stability. Disappearance is about reclaiming control of one's life narrative. It involves actively rewriting one's story based on personal values. This process allows individuals to redefine their identities. It's about creating a future that aligns with genuine desires. Ultimately, it empowers one to be the author of their own destiny.